is my favorite song for National Day.
The whole country stands together to watch the flag being raised.
Marilah kita bersatu dengan semangat yang baru.
White symbolizes pervading and everlasting purity.
Red symbolizes universal brotherhood and equality of mankind.
Singapore has broken away from the Malaysian Federation and become independent.
You see the whole of my adult life.
We have a vision for tomorrow. We have a hope for Singapore.
The voice of Singapore idol, Taufik Batisa. Like every Singaporean, we can count on Taufik. He takes us into Act 1 of the show with red and white, the colors of our flag. Red symbolizing universal brotherhood and the equality of man. White signifies pervading and everlasting purity and virtue. This performance celebrates the theme of diversity and harmony.
We see scores of people arriving. They are migrants from different lands. A reminder of the nation's early days. Each ethnic group bringing its own distinct heritage.
The color yellow, bringing us back to our colonial background. Sir Stamford Raffles founded modern Singapore in 1819. And it paved the way for Singapore to become a modern port and establish its status as a gateway between the eastern and western markets.
Singapore, of course, was valued for its natural harbour, fresh water supplies and timber for repairing ships. Quickly growing in importance as a centre for trade in Southeast Asia, rapidly becoming a major port city while under British rule. The indigenous people of Singapore, the Malays. We saw them earlier dressed in traditional wear. In 1819, these communities were located mainly around the waters of Teluk Blangah and the Kallang River. Fishing was their main means of livelihood. In a few months after the British arrived, hundreds of Malays from Malacca came to Singapore. They were encouraged by the British, who wanted to develop Singapore as a centre for trade and administration.
The sound of the Swana. The color red featuring the Chinese. In the early days of Singapore, the Chinese were grouped by their spoken language or ancestral groups, which are diverse in nature.
Now, of course, most Chinese Singaporeans originated from the southern parts of China, predominantly Fujian and Guangdong provinces. These early immigrants arrived during the 19th and early half of the 20th century. Working in various sectors, trading, fishery, commerce, plantation workers and business owners as well.
And now we see another group in purple. Around the 1820s, Indian immigrants were mostly adult men who came from India to find work and even serve military duties before returning home.
There was a constant flow of Indians in and around the city, keeping the local community fairly transient. A small number of Indians were wealthy merchants who settled in Singapore and built local commercial and social institutions. And here's a blast from the past, a tribute to a period that some Singaporeans remember fondly, I'm sure, the swinging 60s. Look at that kaleidoscope of colors. That is Singapore, reflecting all its different cultures and people.
From distinct groups, they now move in unison to a common rhythm, symbolizing people coming together, forging a community with diverse races.
What a wonderful burst of light right here at the Padang, giving you a taste of what's to come later on in our fireworks display.